Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Bette's Box of Blessings again. I got a new one and I really enjoy these. This week, this month is about sharing. So I'm going to read you the Bible verse. It's from Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians 2:8. We loved you so much that we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel of God, but our lives as well, because you have become so dear to us. And this box couldn't have come at a better time, I guess. I've been looking through it for about a week, really enjoying it, and I'm going to show you a few things that are in it in a minute. But people that share their lives with others are very special, and we have several in our life that share their lives with us, and Danny and I try to share what we do here with others, and we hope that it makes a difference in someone's life, what we do and how we do, that it would change something in their life where they can provide for their families. So sharing is extremely important, and that's the whole purpose behind the Bette's Box of Blessings, is the sharing. And so in this box, I'm going to save one of them for last. We're going to talk about that book last. This book is called The Lucky Few by Heather Avis. This book is written by a lady that she and her husband could not have kids, and they adopted 3 special needs kids. And this is her journey. And it's I already read parts of it and looked through it. It is very, very uplifting. She has lots of trials. She has lots of different stories about what went on. But guys, if you have a special needs child, or if you're adopting, or you just need a good story to see how she handled the situations, this is it. Heather called it The Lucky Few. She has 3 beautiful special needs children, and this is just great, guys. There was one little section. Okay, I want to read this. This would apply to just about anybody, not just Heather and her adopting children and things like that. She said that at one point God told her, "Hey, adopt 2 little boys from Liberia." And she said, "No, why me?" She said, "I don't want to. I don't want to listen." But the things kept going on. Eventually she adopts 2 little girls and 1 little boy. When God calls Heather to adopt children, she said she didn't want to. She tried not to listen, but there was still that burden there. And she called her friend. She says, "Hey, I don't understand. Why is God calling me?" And her friend said, "Because you will listen, you will do what God is asking. He knows you're ready." And that is very important to all of us. Are we ready for what God wants? Sometimes we limit God, and we shouldn't. We should have our hearts and our minds open, because God doesn't always do what we want. She really wanted her own children to give birth to a child. But when God did not allow that, He opened her eyes to a new way. So not only with adoption, but with everything in your life, if God's opening a new way, look for it. Stop and listen. So we're going to talk about the second book, Sharing God's Big Love with Little Lives. And it's talking about a can-do guide for parents and caregivers of children. I want to read one thing that just kind of, I always glance through these books and find something that kind of makes sense to me. So this one's called Jello, and the writer of this, Jean Thomason, is Miss Patty Cake. I'd never heard of Miss Patty Cake because my kids are a lot older. I've got grandkids, and I've not heard them talk about Miss Patty Cake. But Miss Patty Cake goes around. She would sing songs and write Christian songs and stuff. When my kids were little, it was Salty. It was a songbook, Salty. But anyway, she wrote this book, and this one's called Jello. She was taking her kids on a field trip, and with it, she saw this ad for Jello, and the caption said, "A child's mind is like Jello. The idea is to put the good things in before it sets." And she was going, wow. So as a child is small, you need to teach them, because the older they get, it is harder to teach people. It's not that you can't, because we teach people all the time that are all different ages. But when a child is small, the teaching needs to be there. And I thought that was pretty cool. It says 100 years from now, it will not matter what your bank account was, the sort of house you lived in, or the kind of car that you drove, but the world may be different because you were important in the life of a child. And that's pretty cool. So sharing God's big love with little lives. Jean Thomason. There's a CD, There Is No Shadow. I listened to this. This sounds like something that my youngest daughter would be singing. Really good CD. Young woman there that came and led the worship at Bette's church. Abby George Maggio, M-A-G-G-I-O. And as always, there are cards for birthdays, anniversaries, get well, and condolence. Always cards. There's this, and these are from Dayspring, always Dayspring, and I've got a selection of cards. And someday I'm going to get somebody to go through and put them all in order. So all these are birthday, all these are anniversary, all these are get well. But I use these. Every month I use several of these cards at a time. I really love their cards. The last two items kind of go together. And so usually always she has something on, either a Bible verse or something on something. So this one has a Bible verse. It's, "They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts." Acts 21. It's a pot holder. And that's pretty cool. But the reason it's a pot holder is the last book. "Hungry is a mighty fine sauce." Guys, I am really enjoying this. It is a cookbook. And this cookbook is written by Shelley Rushing Tomlinson. Okay, she is called the Belle of all things Southern. And this book has a lot of cute recipes, and even cuter are the stories. I just love her stories. I spent the first day this box came reading her intros and who she was and all this. I mean, she's just an amazing storyteller. And she talks about things from the South that I remember. And so I can relate to this lady. Okay, so Shelley Tomlinson wrote "Suck Your Stomach In and Put Some Color On." Kind of a comical book, and when she was telling her stories and stuff, she'd always kind of throw a recipe in. So people asked her to do a cookbook, and so finally she did. Okay, I tried one of her recipes, and it's on page 121. It's called Big C's Peanut Butter Pie. Guys, this pie is awesome. So the stories, the recipes, you can spend a while. I like a good cookbook. You can spend a while with these. So guys, I got some pie to eat, and I'll talk to you later. So thank you. From Bette's Box of Blessings, the peanut butter pie. It's delicious.